If that thing flies in my face, I'm done. Alright, brotherooskis, before I begin, I want to show you really quick what I got here. Obviously the new tire, levers, rim protectors, big seat clamps to break the bead, and the balancer, and some wheel weights. And one bike to the other might be a little bit different. What I got here on the Busa, this has ABS, so I had to take off the ABS sensor. Both calipers had to come off. And I was able to remove the wheel with this jack here. You can see right here, it's right on the headers. It's perfectly fine. I checked the manual, that's where they tell you to jack up the bike. And in the rear, I have this pit bull stand. I will be getting the front one too soon, but I don't have it yet, so that's why I'm doing this method here. And it would be wise to clean the wheel now. This way, if there's any dirt and stuff, when you work on it, you don't scratch it. Some of this with WD-40 does a trick. Okay, first things first, gonna let all the air out. So we're gonna remove the valve. Of course, I'm gonna have all the links in the description. Okay, now the challenging part is gonna be to break the bead. That's where these C-clamps come in handy. And of course, make sure in the backside, down there, it doesn't touch the wheel, because you're gonna scratch it, dent it, you know, that's gonna be bad news. So you wanna make sure this doesn't hit the wheel. Okay, let's see if I can fit the rim protector. Now we can go with a bead buster. Gonna work my way around it. Okay, now I'm gonna hit it with a little WD-40, make things slide. Make these puppies a little more tight. Always make sure you're not hitting the wheel. Now I'm just gonna work my way around little by little. Some more WD-40. You can see all around it's pretty loose, it has a gap. Now I'm gonna flip it over and do the same on the other side. Let's see if I can just use the bead breaker. And the way that this works is you put this in the wheel, and this part here, you know, goes like this, and you break the bead. It's misbehaving, so I'm gonna have to use the C-clamps again. I'm gonna use one of these on the other side too. This way I can get a better grip without scratching the wheel. Oh yeah, you saw that? Did you see that? That means the bead has broken. This is the tool right here. So the key, once again, is to go all around, kind of get it loose off the rim. Once you do that on both sides with a bead breaker, you just completely pop it off its bead. Now the key to pop it off is you want to have the tire compressed, like squished together. You see how it's getting sucked in over here when I pry on it? That's where the tire wants to go. If it wants to go there, I'm gonna let it go there. I'm holding pressure here and going like this. Okay, now just work your way around. Take a bite each time. Just do small bites every time, you know? Don't try to be a hero. I can't believe it, man. My thingies are stuck here. I'm gonna have to do it the gangster way now. Sometimes you gotta do what you gotta do, you know? And what's good about these, not only it breaks the bead, you can use the back side of it to pop the tire off. Look at this thing, just a little bit left. All the rest of it, it's popped off. Oh yeah, that's it. This is really nice here because it can grab the tire and pop it off. The tire won't slide off. Got my homemade custom rim protector. I don't like how these are stuck here, man. It's like I can't get my tool off now. I wish I had more of those. Man, it's like this bead, it reseated. So I'm gonna have to try to pop it off again. Just keep going around, some patience. Oh yeah, it's going. There you go. Oh yeah, you see that? My fingers fell off now too. It's coming off. Done, damn it. Give it the old knee trick. Parta, Susanna. Voila! That's how you take the tire off. Wow, you saw that? That was a bunch of little BB balls. You see those in there? Look, look, look. That's rubber that got like hit around in the tire while riding. And they become like round. Now, I don't know why that happened. That means there was like a piece of rubber somewhere. But yeah, look at that. BB balls. Anyways, so the tire is off. I'm changing it because it's worn. I don't know if you can see it from the camera, but the tire goes up like this, flat, and then down again. So, and here it's touching the wear mark. So that's another sign that it should be replaced. Like here you see where it's like cracking right here. This is a Bridgestone Battlex S22. I do not have any complaints, but I would like to try something else. I want to try a Conti, see right here, Conti Attack. So I want to try something different. Not that that tire wasn't good, besides the wearing out part, but who cares, man? It's like, if you have good grip, you know, on a heavy, powerful bike, I don't care if I have to replace a tire sooner, you know, as long as, you know, I'm safe. So anyways, I'm gonna try that tire. If I like it, when the time comes, I'm gonna replace the back tire as well, because I currently have a Bridgestone Battlex. And stick to the end here, because I'm gonna show you a proper way to bolt down your wheels, because there's a correct sequence in which you gotta tighten the pinch bolts, you know, the axle and the nut here. Oh, some more BBs over here. And the note, before you put the tire on, make sure you put on the correct way. As you can see here, there's an arrow. You see this arrow mark? So that's the rotation of the tire. So my bike is sitting here this way. So the way the tire turns obviously is this way. That's where the arrow is pointing and it says front. So in my case, these notches are for the ABS and those go on that side. The wheel is gonna be like this and the tire is gonna meet it just the way it is. So just want to point that out. You know, they'll put it on the wrong way. Now this new tire, it's kind of stiff, so a little heat would do the trick. It'll help you out. Look at that, side by side. Out with the old, in with the new. That's definitely softer now. Just a little bit, so it's not like too stiff, you know, so it breaks it up a little bit. Okay, make sure now we don't have any debris that we don't want in here. We're gonna wipe off the excessive double D40. Wow, look at that. Again, make sure which way the tire spins. And one other thing to note, usually like this yellow dot inside there. Usually like on cars, you see it on the sidewall. So those I line up with the valve stem for weight purposes. It doesn't have to be exact on it, but get as close as you can. Some double D40. Make a slide on there. I'm gonna get the yellow dot as close as I can to the stem and start popping this thing on, man. And also want to point out, before when I said you gotta squish the tire to pop it off. The thing is, if the tire is over here on this edge, it doesn't have room for movement so you can pop it off. But when you squish it and the tire falls in here, you can pop it off easier. And right now is a good example because you see where the tire is falling into. It's falling into the center, not up here. If you have the tire here, it's never gonna go on or off. Almost there, broskies, almost there. Ooh, you saw that? That was a trick. Okay, and here I see that yellow dot. It's lining up with the valve stem. You know, if you gotta hold it down with your leg, you gotta do what you gotta do. Whatever it takes. And always remember, you gotta hold it from the opposite side. Otherwise it's gonna start coming up. Oh yeah, got a big bite right here. So this is where I gotta keep the tire squished. When I become rich, I'm gonna get a machine though. Because it is work to do, especially one person. It is doable, but it takes some work and practice. You're gonna have to be like Spider-Man now. If that thing flies in my face, I'm done. And always keep it below that edge. Now the tire is getting tight. I'm gonna give it some heat and then the tire is gonna think differently after that. Some people that use zip ties, when they put it on, they put like zip ties all around, make it tight and put the rim on. I haven't tried it, but it's an option if you want to try it. See what I'm doing here? I'm pushing it down with my knee here. Almost there, guys, almost there. Oh yeah. Oh crap, I put it on the wrong way. Just kidding. Okay, now I'm gonna fill it up with air. But the thing is, with all this WD-40, that stuff is gonna fly out. So I'm gonna take this outside. Yeah, it wasn't bad. Now really quick, I'm gonna put the valve. And now I'm going inside because it's too windy. And the thing is, I'm a little bit sweating. So I don't want to get sick. Now I'm gonna put the proper tire pressure. It says 42 front and back. The front I like a little bit lower than 42. I'll do like 38, 40. 40 is good. And I finally get to put the Suzuki OEM cap. It's got directions too if you don't know how to do it. Okay, off to the balancer. You got this rod. It's gonna go through. With a cone on the other side. And it has an Allen screw here. That's what you make tight to secure it. Now the way I like to do it, make this cone tight, put it on the ground. This way it has all the weight of the wheel on it. And then you make this tight. The way this works is pretty simple. It has bearings, and turn the wheel, you find the heavy spot. So I left the wheel weight here in case we got lucky. Already I can tell that we're not lucky because it's moving too much. When the wheel is balanced, every time you turn it, it's gonna stop in a different place. I know this is not super accurate, but never had an issue. So I'm gonna give the wheel a few spins and keep note where it stops every time. Now if it stops in the same place every time, that's where your heavy spot is, in the bottom. So to me it appears like the heavy spot is here. So what I'm gonna do now is take those off, carefully of course. I'm using a plastic, this way I don't scratch the wheel. It's getting aggressive. Because before that wheel weight was compensating a little bit. Now when it settles, that's gonna mean the heavy spot is on the bottom and you're gonna have to put the wheel weight on the opposite side. It's like the Incas tool, but it works. Okay, I found its happy spot almost. This is where I had the wheel weights originally, so look, we were pretty close. So I had 4 of these and did not do the trick. I'm gonna try like putting maybe 1 or 2 more temporary with a piece of tape and see if that makes a difference. Now, originally I had a wheel weight here in the center. It's pretty cool because it's concealed. The thing is, however, when it grabs on this rib, when you pull it out, it makes a mark, kind of scratches it, this type. But the thing is, it scratches the wheel when you take it off. Plus, I was having a hard time to find these. That's why I went with these red ones. So it kind of blends in with the wheel. I'm gonna wipe the wheel down from the WD-40. And also, I'm gonna wipe down all that WD-40 from between the rim and the tire. You see? This way that stuff doesn't fly off over here. Of course, it's best to get tire stuff, tire grease, whatever, lubrication. But I'm a cowboy and I do stuff a little bit different sometimes. Yeehaw! I'm gonna try this. It's 6 of them. And I put the wheel weights on the kickstand side. This way when the bike is on the stand, it's kind of concealed even more. Okay, now what I want to see is the wheel stopping in a different place every time. Okay, seems a little bit better, but it looks like that wasn't enough. At least it's not stopping all the way up here like it was before. So I'm gonna try 2 more, see what happens. I can't believe it's taken this much weight. I like how the Bridgestone tire only took 4 of these, but this one looks like it's gonna need more. Okay, now you see the weights I put, they're too heavy. It's kind of sucking the wheel down. So let's see what happens. Let's observe. Now if that makes all the way to the bottom, that means I put too much weight, but it doesn't. It's looking pretty good. So before it stopped here, now it stopped there. So that's what you want. You want it to stop in a different spot every time. That means that it's balanced. Okay, now it's stopping here again. Let's give it another try. That's good. It didn't make it up there. That's a different spot. Well, look at that. I'm gonna say that's good. I don't like how it's taking so much more weight compared to the Bridgestone tire, but you know, it is what it is. I'm gonna mark it. This way, I know where to put the weights. I'm gonna clean it with alcohol. Give it another dance. Would you look at that, eh? Okay, now I'm gonna clean the rotors from all the WD-40 that went on there. This is important because, you know, you don't want to mess with the brakes. So a little brake cleaner. See that stuff? Now, if you want to take a step further and do a nice job here, you see how the rotor is kind of like glazed from use? What you can do is take a fine sandpaper. This is 220. There's no like specific number, but something that's a little bit fine. And you can scuff it up so you get a nice braking feel. Nothing crazy, just a little bit like this. And before you put the wheel on, now is an excellent time to check your wheel bearings, see if they're good. This one feels nice and smooth. This one here too. You can check your seals. Everything looks good here. And I'm gonna lube the axle just a little bit so it slides in nice. Just a really light film. That's all I'm applying here. And of course make sure, like this collar thingy, that's where it should be and it hasn't fallen off or something. Okay, now there's a procedure to do this. You can't just like bolt down the pinch bolts and the axle. There's a specific exact procedure you gotta do so you don't put uneven loads on the fork tubes and damage them. So the first thing you gotta do is tighten the axle, the one I just put in the axle, with the nut. That's the first thing you gotta tighten. And for this, I have this tool. It has different sizes. It's really nice, like I use on the dirt bike, I can use on this because it has different sizes. This one is a size 24. And on the other side, you got the nut. Well, really, it's a bolt. So this is gonna be torqued down to 72.5 foot-pounds. And to do this, I'm gonna put the bike on the ground. Okay, that's torqued down. Now I'm gonna fit the calipers, but I'm not gonna tighten them down yet. I'm just gonna make them hand tight for now. That's it. So those are finger tight. Okay, those are finger tight as well. These two are gonna be next to tighten. That's gonna be 16.5 foot-pounds. And then I like to alternate one side to the other. Okay, once you do that, you're gonna want to pump the bike up and down a few times. And what that does, this fork tube on this side is still loose, remember? So what that's gonna do is gonna make it find its sweet spot, the center where it wants to be. Because right now, if you can picture, this fork tube might be a little bit like, you know, bent. So if you tighten it there, that's gonna put a load on the fork. But by jumping on the bike, that's gonna make it wanna center. So now I'm gonna give the bike CPR. Now I can go ahead and make these tight as well. Okay, the front wheel is properly torqued down, pinch bolts and the axle. Now it's time for the calipers. Don't forget the calipers. So a good way of doing this is jack up the bike again until you get the wheel off the ground. Turn the wheel and lightly press on the front brake. And what that's gonna do is it's gonna center the caliper. You might have to pump it a few times because they were off. So right there, snug them down. And once you do that, you're gonna make those tight to 28 foot-pounds. And I'm gonna let the bike on the ground again so it's easier. Don't forget, we still have the ABS sensor. It has some like metal shavings or, you know, stuff stuck to it. So I'm gonna clean that out. Keep the sensor happy, you know? Doesn't have to be tight, like extremely tight, just a little snuggy. That's it. And we are done. Alright guys, I'm here with an update. I drove the bike and I had this impression that something wasn't right. I kind of felt like a little vibration like this in my hands. So what I did is I let go of the handlebars. When I did that, the handlebars would go like this. So that's how I verified that there is an issue. So I took the wheel off again. I'm starting over. What I didn't point the other time is that with this tool here, you can make this stand level by rotating the, I don't know how to call it, the legs of it. So you turn it until you make this level. It was just a little bit off. I don't think that caused it. Also, for the first time when I balanced it, I used this. I didn't remove it This is what goes here. In the past, every time I did this, I didn't have any issues, but this time I did have an issue for the first time. And again, this was the only time where I didn't remove this. So just want to point that out. Also, what I did this time, what I'm doing actually this time is I put a piece of tape on the heavy spot. So what this does, it gives me a better idea when I rotate the wheel, like where it's gonna end up. So I know where the heavy spot is all the time now. Okay guys, I believe I got it now, for real. It's the same number of weights I had before, with the only difference, it's moved that way a little bit. Before it was somewhere here, now they're over here. Alright guys, let's see if it got fixed this time. Let's go for a quick spin. I got my Dainese boots on. I haven't used the camera on the helmet for a while, so excuse me if it's not like perfect and you know, the mic and everything. Okay, here we go, broskies. Okay, I can still see it a little bit vibrating, but it's a lot less than before. Yeah, before it was almost like a death wobble. I'm gonna see how it goes. If I don't like it, I don't know, man, I might switch to a different tire. This is the first time I'm trying a Conti tire, and I didn't like how it took so many weights. I want to do a little acceleration to show you the quick turn throttle tube that I installed. It did make a change. It's not like day and night, but it did make a change. Okay, here we go, papi chulos. Holy shit! Yeah, the handlebar's way more better, much better than before. The bike goes straight. Burn some tire maybe. Holy shit! Oh man! Holy crap! Alright broskis, there you have it. I'm giving you the truth. I'm not in La La Land to BS you and tell you that everything is, you know, I'm an expert in this and that. If there's an issue, of course I'm gonna tell you. Man, that poor tire. Alright broskis, I'm signing out.